sometimes when we're communicating, I see things from my perspective, and
I definitely see things from my perspective, and sometimes you think never the twain shall meet.
Yeah.
But in actuality, we probably are saying something that can definitely mesh.
Yeah, and the two go together, and I think this next slide is a really good illustration of that.
Mine's the blue brain.
The blue brain's kind of weird.
I was like, it's meshing really nicely in the middle there.
Anyhow, so what it is you're coming from 2 points of view, and you're speaking from your own perspective. And what happens though is as the two conversations come together, there's a blending, and hopefully it's harmonious as it blends. But understand that there's sometimes there, look in the middle there. Sometimes it kind of gets muddled until you can figure out how to make it work. Pinpoint it. Yeah. So there are some things that are affected by gender. And one of that is our daily word allotments. Women have a much larger daily word allotment than men do. Let me just kind of read this to you. A woman can effortlessly speak an average of 6,000 to 8,000 words a day. Can you imagine that, ladies? She uses an additional 2,000 to 3,000 vocal sounds to communicate, as well as 8,000 to 10,000 facial expressions, head movements, and other body language signals. This gives her a daily average of more than 20,000 communications. And that explains why the British Medical Association recently reported that women are 4 times more likely to suffer from jaw problems. Did we talk too much? Anyway, now. For men, though, what's interesting is if you add up the total communications for a man, he averages 2,000 to 4,000 words, an additional 1,000 to 2,000 vocal sounds, and 2,000 to 3,000 body language signals. So his daily allotment adds up to 7,000. So if I'm at 20,000 and he's at 7,000, he's done probably by the time he gets home. I grunt a lot. And I'm still got several more words to go. So being mindful of those daily word allotments when a person comes home at the end of the day, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom and you haven't had that challenging conversation with other adults during the day, you're ready to still have fabulous conversation, and your husband may be completely tanked on he's already used. There have been those times where I've come home and all I want to do is just kind of go veg, maybe click on the TV and just say, leave me alone for a few minutes, where she's ready to go, I need to talk to somebody. Yeah. So that's and then there are the meta messages. And a meta message is what happens when I might say something, you hear the words, but there's a reason behind what I'm saying. And so there's more to the message. Yeah, there's more to the message. It's what I'm saying, but it's also, why am I saying this? And so sometimes we need to be very sensitive to, why is it that my spouse is saying that right now? There's something behind that. And I tend to have had to learn quite often to figure out what's going on behind the scenes sometimes. Yeah. And then there's posturing. Well, you know what? If we don't want to communicate effectively and we want to make sure that we want to be heard well or whatever be, I may just kind of take a particular attitude, and I may even quietly take upon that posture that says to her, be careful. Or we might posture ourselves to protect ourselves. We're not sure how the other person's going to react, and so we try to position ourselves in a place of strength so that we can't have an outcome. What are we talking about? We talking about it could be anywhere from maintaining my authority, how important I am, or what I want to say is. Even my stature may come into effect there. Whether I want to show my superiority in a situation, all of those kind of things. Yeah, and then we go through what's called report versus rapport. And when we're talking about that, it's in report versus rapport. Report is where it's facts. It's just an exchange of information between one another. Rapport is where I really want to make a connection. with the other person. It's my independence versus intimacy with the other person. And so that seems to be, sorry, that went too fast.
You went too fast there.
Sorry.
That's good.
Yeah.
So basically giving information is the report, but if you really want to establish an intimacy, or excuse me, a connection while talking, I'm going to be doing what we're doing right now, because I want to make sure that whatever I have to say is carried over as important, and maybe whatever she has to say is just as important to me.
And I think this is especially important in today's world, because we tend to be moving at a very rapid pace. We're very busy. Things have to happen quickly. It's a microwave generation. And so oftentimes we don't take the time to establish that rapport. It's quickly exchange the information and you're running out the door. So I really like this cartoon.
I love it. Talk about my feelings on a wedding day. If anything changes, I'll let you know.
So anyhow, talking about communication, though, we talk about words, but when we say words in communication, we're talking about a much broader spectrum of things.
I mean, the stats are amazing. Elements of personal communication. 7% of basically what's carried out is by the spoken word.